Hey, listeners, it's Sunday in South Carolina. Welcome back to the Touchdowns Podcast. I'm Beck Dugas, along with Thomas. This is an instant reaction to last night's game in Columbia, Missouri. The Gamecocks lost 29-20. Just want to read through some of the stats from the game. Missouri, 29 first downs to 15 for Carolina. 7 of 13 on third down for Missouri compared to 3 of 11 for Carolina. 458 total yards for Missouri, 293 for Carolina, and the obvious glaring stat: 287 rushing yards for Missouri and -9 for Carolina.
Do you have the number of how many yards we lost in sack yardage?
I don't, but it was substantial. They sacked us 5 times, and I know on just 2 of the sacks alone, we lost 18 and 15. I mean, we probably lost 50 yards rushing, but if you just look at our running backs combined for 11 carries for 19 yards. And then you throw in the reverse to Brian Rowe, 12 carries for 19 yards because he had a gain of 0. So very anemic running game. Obviously, I wouldn't even maybe describe it as anemic. I mean, it was non-existent. A lot of people frustrated with this game, and I'll come out and say I'm right there with you. I was even texting you last night, Thomas, and saying even if we find a way to win this game, I'll probably have 90% negative things to say about this game. I mean, what did we talk about earlier? It was, in my estimation, the biggest game of the Beamer era to date. We needed to come out and play. I mean, I was watching SEC Nation yesterday morning, and Jordan Rodgers is like, South Carolina has to play an A-plus game to win in Missouri tonight because he was calling the game, so they were getting his thoughts on the game. We could have won with a C game. I mean, we played a D game and we're in it. Like, that is what is so frustrating. And I know no one's more frustrated than the team and the coaches, but it doesn't matter what they feel, honestly. They need to get results. We're the fans. They're the players and the coaches, so it doesn't really matter what they feel. And, it's very frustrating. 14 penalties for 98 yards, drive killers. I mean, and we could have had more penalties, and we had a couple that Drink decided to decline. I don't know why he declined the running into the kicker in the fourth quarter. If I were him, I mean, they were gashing us on the, with Hardy and Roberts. Like, that would have been 4th and 2 or 4th and 1. I would have accepted that and just run it down our throats. And just ended the game there. But we did get the ball back, and frustrating to have the play with on third down where we had, I believe it was Jacobs or Rowe, I can't remember, over the middle, and we miss it.
I think it was Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs. He came out and said, "Hey, that one was on me." I thought that was a classy move, not to throw LaNorris under the bus, but I do feel like LaNorris could have put that throw in a more catchable position, understand the pressure. Looking back, we'll obviously think about the play to Mazio in the first quarter. I thought with the pressure, it wasn't a terrible throw, honestly. It hit Mazio in the hands. He could have made that play, so I think Mazio, as much as LaNorris probably is going to watch that play back and really wish he had that play back and a chance for him to make a big splash because he's had a slow start to the year. So I know he's frustrated with that. But, I mean, it's just, again, I feel like I'm listening to after the Vanderbilt loss, after this loss, I feel like I'm listening to What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers every time Beamer talks in the post-game conference. As he rises to her apology. It's like he's telling us, like, and we're the fools that still believe in this team. Like, what are they giving us to believe in this team? I know we have Lenoris, and he made some great plays. And again, I'm not dismissing that, but when you come out and this has already been said, Beamer said it too, but like the penalties, the missed opportunities, the lack of effort on defense. I mean, our best player, Dylan Stewart, and I realize he gets held all the time and he's never drawn a holding penalty. I think he's only drawn one in his entire career at South Carolina, and it was last year at the beginning of the year. So I understand his frustration, but when he's the best player on the team and he gets ejected from the game against Vandy, and then they didn't call it, but he's picking the dude up and throwing him on the ground late. Just a total lack of self-awareness, and his effort was not great yesterday, just on the plays that I watched and some of the clips that I saw. And then obviously, I mean, the defense Hardy just ran through us. Roberts ran through us. Just poor tackling. I mean, it was just a tough watch, and still we have a chance to win and we don't come up with the plays. It's just like, that's one where if you sneak out with a win, like I said, I might have still been saying 90% negative things after a win, which shouldn't be the case, but that's how the game played out. Like, we didn't do a lot of great. Lenoris had some great throws, and some plays in the game where it was like, this is why he's the potential number one pick at quarterback, because of the way he can sling the ball. I mean, but how we got there is the frustrating part. It's like the play he made to Nick Harbor rolling out to his left, and just a frozen rope dart right into Harbor's hands. But it was 3rd and 37. Like, that is so frustrating. Like, so I don't know where we go from here. We get to play Kentucky at home next week. That's a blessing, because as bad as we look right now, Kentucky is probably the worst team in the SEC. So if we're not, like, at this point, Mississippi State's 4-0. Some of these teams Arkansas doesn't, we'll talk about that, but it's a blessing. We'll play Kentucky. Hopefully we can get it right, and then, get into the bye week and get healthy, and then see what this is made of. But I talked about it. The sky is somewhat falling on the season. I just hope the fans don't give up, and especially just hope the team can rebound. But what are some of your thoughts, Thomas?
Yeah, so I think one of the more infuriating things about it is, for me, they are showing us glimpses of greatness. The first touchdown to Rowe, we give Lenoris a clean pocket, and it's a 50-yard handoff. Like, you won't see a more effortless, perfectly placed.
Yeah, to Jacobs. Jacobs was the first one.
Was that not Rowe?
Rowe was the second touchdown pass.
He had two. Okay, I was watching it at the bar. I was bartending, so I was trying to, wait until the ball was snapped and then catch what happened. And I'm serving people. I need to go back and watch the game where I have no distractions. But yeah, the penalties are something that you shake your head at. It was really, really difficult to watch them run the ball on us the way that they did. Although I will say, the leading rusher in the SEC coming into coming into the game. He is first in FBS football in missed tackles forced. I really think that he is the best running back we will play all year. I still want us to play better.
But it wasn't just him. It was the backup Roberts, too, that was bouncing off tackles. Like, it wasn't just him. Like,
right. But I'm just saying,
the tackling was piss poor. I mean,
they're good backs. Like, they're Missouri. Like we said this going into it. Missouri's a good team. They play well. And yeah, it's disappointing the performance that we put out there. I was reading the Sunday injury report before we filmed this, and I didn't realize this at all. DQ Smith didn't play a single snap last night. He aggravated something in pregame warmups.
Quad contusion.
I don't know if that affected our run defense. Gerald Kilgore did make an excellent interception, so I assume that's who took a majority of DQ's snaps. Trovon Ball did not play a single snap last night. That's why Boaz did not start at center. Boaz actually played right guard last night. Kason Henry left the game relatively early, and Sri Babalade came back in. I don't know if that affected, I know that Trovon is one of our better run blockers. He's one of the strongest guys on the offensive line. So I don't think that losing your starting right guard is an excuse to have negative rushing yards for the game. But I wonder, what him not playing, if that could explain some of the struggles we were having to run the football. But again, at the end of the day, no amount of injuries are going to make it okay for the performance that we had and losing the game. South Carolina fans, we just want to win. Like, it gets to a point to where every team deals with injuries. Every team deals with adversity. I don't want to hear about how hard our schedule is anymore. We're in the SEC. If we want to talk about being in the SEC, that comes with playing a difficult schedule every year. Clemson, our in-state rival, is traditionally, or has been for the past 10, 15 years, very good. So the schedule will never be easy. It's only going to get more difficult. We're moving to 9 conference games next year. So the schedule and injuries, that is a part of football. And, that is the price of admission. And you have to find a way to navigate all that and win. And all I care about is winning. I don't care how we do it. I don't care how it looks. The game was ugly last night. But had we found a way to win the game, I would have woken up this morning and I would have been happy. But we didn't. So even if we had played beautifully and lost, I just want to win. I just want to win.
No, but you have to get to winning. There's winning football. Like you said, you could play beautifully and lose, and that's just the reality of it. But there's winning things, and we're year 5 in this program. It's all Beamer players. It's none of the Muschamp layovers. It's all of Beamer's players. It's his culture, and we're getting called for 14 penalties. Like, we're having lack of effort on defense. We're not fundamentally tackling. These are just glaring things, and it's just we're gonna get the same. We get the same shit. I gotta look at the tape. I gotta be better. It starts with me. Need changes.
But dude, I'll say this. I know that people get frustrated with coach speak, but even if he knows exactly what's wrong,
he's not going to say it. Yeah,
he's not going to throw the players under the bus. He can't just say, "Hey, such and such. Hey, Sean Murphy didn't wrap up on Ahmad. Sean Murphy hit Ahmad Hardy in the backfield and didn't wrap up. Sean Murphy's got to wrap up. He's not going to do that.
Right.
You know, it's annoying as fans. Like, fans need to understand that the press conferences are fluff. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to. I think that some coaches do a better.
The press conferences are fluff, but firing the offensive line coach isn't. That is an action.
Right.
That is an action step that you can take.
And that is something
when
that
your
we
offensive line fucking sucks.
That is something that we may address at the end of the season. I am not defending I don't think that any of the coaches should be comfortable right now outside of I think the receivers coach Fury should feel pretty safe and secure. I think T. Gray should feel pretty comfortable and secure. Obviously, Orangeburg. I'm blanking. DN coach.
Sterling Lucas.
He's fine. But yeah, anybody else on the staff, your position group needs to start performing better, or you could be replaced at the end of the year. And I'm to the point where, yes, I'm ready to shake things up with the assistants. We did get a Twitter mailbag question. I don't have the name in front of me, but to paraphrase it, he listed Muschamp's SEC record, which was 17-22.
Ross, can we get the question pulled up? Let's get the question pulled up. Let's read this out. The fan deserves to have his question read out. Did it come? Let me get it. Okay.
So I can we'll get the name and we'll read the question, but I've read it and I remember enough of it to know that the fan cites Muschamp's SEC record, which was 17-22. Beamer is now currently 15-19 in the SEC.
All right, here we go, Thomas. Hold on.
Okay.
From Juan Esposito, Beamer is currently 15-19 in SEC play. Muschamp finished 17-22. It looks like best case scenario, he will finish this season at 17-23. Why should he not be fired? And how hot will his seat be going into 2026, assuming we finish 5-7? Thanks for that question, Juan.
Okay, so I'll attack this in a couple different ways. I'm going to go first. I feel pretty strongly about this.
Go for it.
I do not think that Beamer should be fired. I don't even think that his seat should be warm. The only thing that will make me change my mind about that is if we literally lose every single game for the rest of the season. But let's say that we do finish 5-7. I'm assuming that the 3 wins that Juan is giving us are Kentucky, Coastal, and Clemson. Because if you look at the rest of our schedule, those are the 3 easiest games remaining on our schedule. So if we finish 5-7 with wins over the 4 non-conference teams, and the only SEC game that we win is Kentucky, I don't think that Beamer should be fired. I don't think that he should be on the hot seat. If we lose to Kentucky, lose to Coastal, lose to Clemson, and we finish 2-10, then yeah, we're going to have to rethink everything. But the reason that I don't think that Beamer should be on the hot seat if we finish 5-7 is because, a couple different reasons. The portal is going to make things easier to rebuild, but it's also going to make coaching transitions incredibly dangerous in terms of just getting ransacked. So if we fire Beamer, I think it would be very difficult that we hold on to Fred. I think it would be very difficult that we hold on to Dylan. I mean, you name it. All of our best players, I don't know who we're able to retain if there is a coaching change. And I'm not willing to go through that type of restart. I think that I'm definitely on board with potentially replacing some of the assistants if our play on the field this year does not dramatically improve. But uh, I, I don't. I also don't think we're going to finish 5-7. I think we're going to beat Kentucky. I think we're going to beat Coastal. I think we're going to beat Clemson. That is 5 wins. I do think that we're going to win some of the other games. I really hope that we can beat Kentucky, kind of collect ourselves over the bye week and get hot and go on a bit of a run. But if we do finish 5-7, you know, I would hope that we're able to retain the core of our talent, retain our class this year. We have a very good class. I would want us to try and address things in the offseason via the portal again. But I just don't think that this give a coach 5 years and then blow it up model works anywhere, but especially not at South Carolina. The coach that everybody wanted the year that we hired Beamer was Billy Napier. And he is going to get run out of Florida this year. Like, there aren't that many good coaches in the country. There are even fewer great coaches that I would consider an upgrade to Beamer that we could get. And, when I say that, that is not disrespecting our program. I think I hold our program in higher esteem than most people do. But I am also very acutely aware of where we stand in the pecking order of the country. But both when it's, in program tradition, in resources, in recruiting footprint, in all of it. And it is still my opinion that I don't think that there were very many upgrades from Beamer available right now. If you have a different opinion on that, I would love to hear it.
No, I don't necessarily buy into the Beamer hot seat talk. I know, again, I had some friends texting this morning, airing out some frustration, saying fuck him or whatever. And I don't really buy into it. I do think the thing with Muschamp is we were 0-5 against Clemson with Muschamp. We lost to them by like 1 billion points in those 5. We just got dog walked by Clemson every year he was the coach. We were 1-4 against Kentucky.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. I know the significance of the Clemson game to myself and to Carolina fans, but I do not think it's fair to compare Muschamp's Clemson record to Beamer's because of the different states of their program. 2 of Muschamp's losses to Clemson came in years where they won the national championship. So, yes, I do love that Beamer is 2-2 against Clemson. I do love that I like us to beat them this year. Despite how we have looked, they look worse, and I expect us to beat them at home, and that will move Beamer to 3-2 against them. And I know that that is very important for in-state recruiting. I know that is very important for just how we feel in our day-to-day lives. But saying that Muschamp was 0-5 and not competitive against Clemson versus what Beamer has done, I think is not a fair comparison.
I'm saying the point is Muschamp was not doing anything positive with the program, and that included being 1-4 against Kentucky, who, aside from Vanderbilt, is the one SEC opponent we have domination over, and you go 1-4 against that team.
Right.
and program. You're 0-5 against your in-state rival. Yes, I get it. Clemson was at the peak of their powers, but I'm just saying there is positives within this Beamer era that didn't exist within the Muschamp era. Is all I was saying. I wasn't necessarily, I'm not saying it's more impressive Beamer, that Beamer's gotten a couple wins against Clemson. I'm just saying the positives that are there within this program weren't there at all with Muschamp. We had literally zero positives.
Right.
Like zero. And then, so I don't buy into the hot seat. I really think we're going to beat Kentucky, and then 3-2, and then we got the bye week, and we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. I think that he needs to make real evaluations of his staff. Again, it's a point that's driven home. Is he too loyal of a guy? Does he need to have a change in philosophy? I mean, the man coached under Lincoln Riley, and I know Lincoln Riley isn't this huge success, but he coached a bunch of Heisman winning quarterbacks. He's had a lot of fun offenses. He does it. And it doesn't have to be that we need this fun offense, but we just want production. We just want production. Right. And we're hell bent on getting this pro style offense, and that's what Beamer's mindset's been.
Well, okay, I'm actually glad that you brought that up.
Dowell,
I really don't have. I thought the play calling last night was fine. We hit explosive plays. There were a lot more explosive plays available to hit that we just didn't. For example, I know that the throw could have been better, but there was pressure. Mazio's got to squeeze that ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was wide open. Like that. Yeah. If the O-line protects better on that play, Lenoris delivers a walk-in touchdown to Mazio. The only play that I really hated was the play action under center after the
after the big ball.
First and goal where we take that bad sack, but then I saw a replay of it, and Brady Hunt was open.
Sewell missed a
even if Lenoris has a guy in his face, he's just got to throw that out of the back of the end zone. But from a play calling standpoint, it was there. And then again, the 3rd and 9 we can't convert in the fourth quarter. That was open. We had a lot of open guys. Okay, and then another one. The possession after Missouri's field goal, where Lenoris had a pass that could have been intercepted that was dropped.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bad read, but he got on replay showed that he got hit. The guy that he was trying to throw to was a wheel route that was wide open down the sideline. So it's just I know that the rushing numbers are terrible, and I wish that we know our O-line is not playing well or is just not good, and I don't think that we're giving the O-line enough help from a scheme standpoint, but I actually have the least amount of issue with the play calling that I've had this entire season last night.
Yeah. I'm not.
The only thing that pissed me off was we're running play action in the fourth quarter when we have negative rushing yards. That's not going to hold anybody. The linebackers aren't going to be frozen by a play fake in the fourth quarter when we don't have positive rushing yards. At that point, just drop back and pass. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we can't not run that play without doing the play fake, but that's not holding anybody. The safety's not biting on that in the fourth quarter when we don't have positive rushing yards. But I don't know.
No, okay. I'm with you. I'm not
Three in
saying the play calling was terrible. I'm just saying that there's a general philosophy of having this pro style offense, and we can keep that. But I love some things. We use the screen game. I talked about it before, on the preview episode. Like, do some things. The first play of the game, we ran a screen. We got 11 yards. Like,
yeah,
because the running game isn't working, do
yeah,
some things so where we can get in third and less than 5. Because it feels like this whole season we haven't had a third down less than
right.
5 yards.
And I
It's
mean,
like third and 9,
I mean,
third and 11,
right.
third and 12. Like,
I mean, we have touched on the penalties already, but a lot of those false starts and all that stuff, like that kills your running game because you're behind the sticks. Like you can't stay ahead of the chains when you're starting 1st and 15 on half of your possessions or like at some point in your drive. That hurt the running game last night as well. Um, we gotta. I think we gotta use Matthew Fuller more. The one carry that he got in the second half, you know, he got like 5 or 6 yards, but he's just a big back that fell forward.
yeah,
We 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 are not capable. We are not capable of giving Rasul the space that he needs to do what he does well. Um, at the moment, and I hope at some point we are doing things, whether we're passing to set up the run or we figure out a different O-line combination. But right now, we need bigger backs that can get 3 yards when there's no yards to be had. And I think that Oscar and Matthew Fuller are or Jawan, like anybody, like we just need someone who can, like you said, keep us on schedule, keep us ahead of the chains. Because it sucks being in 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12 every single time. Like the reason that we only converted 3 out of 11 is because you need an explosive play every single time to move the chains. And I
yeah,
don't know if the offense has the capability to be this methodical, move it down the field offense at any point this year. Like I think we're gonna live and die by explosives all year. And I'm just kind of going stream of consciousness now, but Lenoris does not look comfortable running the football this year, whether it's a designed run or a scramble play. Uh, like the only time this entire year that he has looked the same as he did to me last year running with the football was that first touchdown on the QB power against Virginia Tech. Ever since then, he's looked different to me. And it was,
yeah,
last night, as soon as there was anybody that could make the tackle, he started going sideways or started looking to get out of bounds or started looking to get down. And I don't have any problem with him protecting himself. It could be that he felt different coming off of last week's injury, but if if that is what we're going to get out of him, and I also understand that him running it gives us an extra block or two, but I would rather just he looks great passing. Like all these people this offseason that said he can't throw or can't read the defenses, in my opinion, are dumb. You know, we just can't protect long enough for
yeah.
stuff to develop sometimes. But when he has a clean pocket and guys are open, he threads it. I mean,
Yeah.
the
No,
the
I'm with you. I'm with you. And you're right. When he was running last night, it was never put his head down and charge forward for yards. It was, I'll scoot to the sideline and I think maybe the injury has, a little bit to do with that mindset. So I hope that, maybe coming out of the bye week, hopefully we don't need him too much to run against Kentucky. Honestly, at this point, like we just need anything to get yards, but hopefully coming out of the bye week, he can be a little bit more aggressive with how he runs, because we're going to need that against these games against
Right.
LSU and Oklahoma, and
Right.
his legs are going to be vital to our
Right.
success and extending drives, because we, again, like, it was his legs against Virginia Tech was damn near the only reason we extended a few of those drives. Like,
Right.
and then, he was, like I said, he was great with his arm last night. Like, that is one thing I'm not gonna poo-poo on. Yes, he missed the throw, but everyone's not gonna be perfect, especially when you got pressure bearing down on you. You hate to miss the plays, but yeah, overall that it sucked last night.
And then another thing, like, I know that he took some sacks last night that we just cannot take. And some of the sacks were on the O-line. Some of the sacks were on him holding the ball too long. But, we as fans, we cannot have our cake and eat it too, because some of the dynamic plays that he made last year, for example, against Missouri, the last two drives that helped us win the game, he made by breaking
avoiding sacks,
a tackle, extending the play. So if you want him to just throw it out of bounds when he gets heat, we can coach that into him. But when you do that, you're clipping his nuts from some of the plays that went our way in the past. So yes, I'm acknowledging that he took sacks you can't take, and he lost yardage that you can't lose when you take a sack. But again, if you clip his nuts, you clip his nuts, and you lose.
No, you got to let him be him. You got to let him be him. No, I'm with you there. Hopefully, we'll talk about the Kentucky game on Wednesday, but hopefully we can come back home and get a win. Last night was a tough one for Gamecock Nation. We lost 29-20 to Missouri. That is our instant reaction recap from the Missouri game. Quickly, before we put a bow on this episode of the Touchdowns podcast, want to run through the picks from last week. Your boy, 1-4. I'm actually 6-13, Ross, not 6-12, but 1-4. Just an awful week. I got the win on Thursday with Rice. Thought it was going to be a good Saturday. I mean, Indiana beat the hell out of Illinois. Texas Tech, with their backup quarterback, ends up beating Utah by 4 touchdowns, 24 points. Arkansas, I mean, Sam Pittman, just go ahead and get fired and come coach the O-line at South Carolina. Get that buyout money, and I'm sure we could. This fan base would love to pay you a hefty sum to get us some hog mollies up front and be able to actually run the football. They blew that game completely, up 28-10. Multiple red zone turnovers. That was a frustrating loss. And then NC State, too. I mean, they outgained Duke by like 200 yards, but they had 4 turnovers and 3 turnover on downs. Basically 7 drives ending in turnovers to Duke. Just a shitty weekend for your boy. So I got to be better. But on the positive side, just tail Thomas's picks until I get right.
I don't want to rub your nose in it, but I was 4-1 in the DB Blitz, and I took the Madcock, which hit. Although it's such a hollow feeling to cover and us lose. Like, I feel like it's blood money. I mean, I don't feel any satisfaction from this weekend. I would obviously have rather won these picks than lost them and have South Carolina lose. but I can't enjoy Clemson's collapse. I can't enjoy how hot I am in gambling because Carolina, the only thing that I really truly care about that gives me happiness did not happen. But yeah, I went 4-1. Michigan covered. Told y'all Nebraska sucks. Miami covered. Bye bye Billy. UCF destroyed North Carolina. The Belichick experiment is over. Have fun with his son if y'all want to mess around with that. But I don't think that he's going to be any better. They're just not cut out for college. Like the NFL and college are fundamentally different in a lot of different ways, and it's I know it's the same sport, but it's different in how you just have to manage the program. And I don't think either of the Belichicks have any idea what they're doing in that capacity. Little tidbit that just reminded me of had a high school recruit come through touchdowns over the summer when he was visiting for a camp. Asked him where he'd been, asked him how he was enjoying his time at South Carolina. He said that we were doing a great job. He said he'd been to North Carolina, and he basically implied that it's clear that they don't really know what they're doing from a recruiting standpoint yet. So I think that he won't be there much longer, but while he's there, they have no idea what they're doing, and it's just not going well. Yeah, they didn't cover. And then I did lose Arkansas. I was on Arkansas, but we covered. Miami covered. UCF covered. Michigan covered. 4-1.
Good week for you.
Good week.
Good week for you. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, just for now, just tail Thomas until I get right. I just need a little bit more data, and I need to see a little bit more with these eyes and get these picks right. Yeah, we'll be back with another episode on Wednesday, previewing the Kentucky game, also talking gambling picks and news and notes around the country. So that concludes this episode of the Touchdowns Podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube. As always, DM us questions, things you want to hear us talk about on the podcast. We always look forward to those. Appreciate Juan with his question today. And we will be back on Wednesday. As always, go Cox.
Go Cox.